Hey everyone, Brayden here coming to you with a breaking Disney news update as Disney just held the first big fan event talking about the future of the Disney parks and resorts since way back in 2019 when you'll recall we got all the details for the Epcot overhaul with the D23 Expo out in California. This panel we had this morning at the Destination D23 event in Orlando, Florida was our return to these panels where we get a bunch of news all at once from Disney on what is going on with the parks. I didn't expect us to hear much with this panel in particular. Of course, that didn't stop many fans from hoping we'd hear about things like an Imagination Pavilion overhaul in Epcot, a Coco ride at the Mexico Pavilion in Epcot, new monorails maybe, new hotels, new lands. As you might expect, we did not hear anything of that caliber, anything that awesome. And the funny part was when Parks Chairman Josh D'Amaro, who hosted the panel, took the stage, he hyped us up like we were in fact going to hear some crazy new announcements. Listen to this.
I have a lot to cover today. They only gave me 55 minutes, so I'm going to go very, very fast. You guys with me? All right.
55 minutes. You know, the news we actually got here, the substantive stuff, I think we can get through all of it in a much shorter length of time while also really not glossing over anything. We'll be able to get through all of it here quite quickly. The first news of the panel was we got the logo for the 100 Years of Wonder celebration. That's the company-wide celebration of Disney's 100th anniversary that'll be kicking off in 2023. In the past, I've told you guys Disney's already been working on the 100th anniversary stuff. They've been working on it for a while now. Like with the 50th anniversary Rose Gold Castle, here too, I expect us to see some big park tie-ins to celebrate the occasion. As far as new shows, new rides, things like that for the 100th year celebration, we'll see. I haven't heard anything just yet. We were supposed to get a bunch of ride updates for the 50th anniversary that ended up not happening, not panning out, so perhaps we could get them in 2023 as part of this 100th year celebration. That would be pretty awesome. Definitely a way to make up for what ended up happening with the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World. As far as park-specific news goes with this panel, the first we heard was about Disneyland Paris celebrating its 30th anniversary next year, where D'Amaro revealed the Marvel area out there will be opening summer of 2022. And as part of the anniversary at Disneyland Paris, some classic shows and parades will be returning. Then we hopped over to Hong Kong Disneyland, where D'Amaro mentioned the new Frozen-themed area, which we got a few looks at, before quickly moving over to Tokyo, where a new themed port, Fantasy Springs, is coming to life. We got some aerial footage of that project as well. Next, we saw some nighttime show footage from Shanghai Disney, which is celebrating its 5th year in operation, as well as some views of the construction that's happening at the site of the future Zootopia-themed land. We got this clip of a new animatronic that'll be featured on the attraction in that land. Next, we heard about 2 new shows coming to the new Disney Wish ship, which is under construction. We saw some footage of the ship being put together. That stuff is so cool. The shipbuilding, that is amazing to me, how they put all that together. The new shows that they're bringing to the Disney Wish, the 2 new shows, one is a stage show with Captain Minnie, and the other is a Broadway-style stage show, Disney The Little Mermaid. Finally, we move to the stateside parks, with Disney highlighting the concept and development work currently happening at the Disneyland Hotel, with this tower that Disney says will be infused with magic. The reveal we got was of this pool area. We also saw the inspiration for the art that will be featured inside the rooms, the guest rooms. I thought the guest rooms looked actually pretty good here. Disney's not really done great, I feel like, with a lot of the design of the guest rooms lately. Specifically taking a look at the contemporary, famously, I've not been a fan of the rooms there. Disney also touched on the recently announced Toontown reimagining they're going to be doing, where we got to see a panorama vector graphic showing what the hills will look like around the land, which will be coming back as work on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway continues here. Finally, we made it over to Walt Disney World, where I was expecting there to be a lot of Epcot stuff for Disney to share. We know a lot of stuff is on pause, but in Epcot, there should be some stuff for Disney to announce. Because if you recall, following the reveal of the Epcot overhaul in 2019, at the last big D23 event, then of course we had the events of 2020, where as they unfolded, it became clear that the elevated structure that they announced for Epcot, that was likely canceled. And then another big part of the Epcot spine project, Spaceship Earth. That project Disney announced was being put on pause. All of that was Spaceship Earth. It's been on pause for over a year now. So right now we're seeing this preliminary foundation work that is going on in World Celebration. And we know that we're going to be getting the Moana walkthrough attraction over there, but there's a lot we don't know as far as what's coming to that area. So you'd assume Disney has a rock solid idea of what in fact is going to be going there, since they're already building it, right? They're already doing the infrastructure. Not only did we not hear anything about that area, the Spaceship Earth project, which is still on pause, any further plans for the Epcot overhaul, like updating the Imagination Pavilion, all we did here on Epcot was the following. First, they announced that Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is opening summer 2022, and it'll feature this character known as Nova Prime. They released a little video where she's saying, hey, I'm going to be part of the attraction and all of that. We got 2 new pieces of art of the interior of the attraction you're seeing right now, which do look pretty cool. This is the inside. This is when you go into the attraction before you actually board the ride vehicle, and there's the whole reverse launch and all of that, which of course we know all about. Disney's been teasing for years, and now really it's just a matter of us getting this attraction. I was just in Epcot and it is coming together quite quickly here, so I'm quite excited for that. Then on the Epcot Crater, we got the name for the counter service restaurant that'll be replacing the Electric Umbrella. It'll be called the Connections Cafe. And here's the art to accompany that announcement, where you can see yet again we are continuing with this very nondescript Apple Store style aesthetic, which we also of course got over at the Creation Shop. I don't understand what this stuff is doing in a theme park. It looks like something you'd see at a mall. I just really don't understand why they're going with such a nondescript look here for what is supposed to be a very highly themed environment. It's a theme park. It's Epcot. Epcot's supposed to be this place of the future, and they're really just going away from that because they don't want to have to bother, building a place of the future. And when you do stuff like this, it can stand the test of time, not demand more money spent by Disney and things like that. It just really comes off as lazy, to be quite honest. One of the highlights of the presentation was a look at the Walt Dreamer statue coming to Epcot, to the Dreamers Point area. I've always been under the impression this statue was sculpted a long time ago. We saw it at the D23 Expo in 2019, that concept art. A lot of these announcements, it seems like Disney's just looking at, okay, what art, what sort of, footage have we not released yet that we can put out there, really scraping the bottom of the barrel as far as Imagineering goes, because Disney, we know they've not been putting a lot of money into Imagineering. We know due to the events of last year, Imagineering saw massive layoffs, projects that they were all working on, they were paused or canceled in many cases. Really, most of this presentation was the park's chairman saying all these bizarre slogans, like stuff their marketing arm, Yellow Shoes, comes up with for promotional campaigns and advertising. Josh D'Amaro was standing up there, he called the room of fans brand ambassadors. So I guess the idea is they'd fill the presentation with all these promotional campaign slogans and things, and then we'd go out and tell our friends that stuff, like we'd go to our friends afterwards and say, I was at the D23 event, and I have to say, Disney is about connections. It's about the magic inside of you. Like, who knows what planet the people are on, the people who wrote this, but that is most definitely not what the people who paid money to attend this panel were there to see, were there to hear. The most notable Walt Disney World news we got was at the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser, where we have this brand new footage of Parks Chairman Josh D'Amaro doing the lightsaber training activity aboard the Starcruiser. The first 4 months of voyages are already completely booked up for the experience, despite that extremely heavy $5,000-$6,000 price tag. Going into 2022, it'll be very interesting to see if the Starcruiser is everything Disney has hyped it up to be. If it is, that'll mean these highly immersive hotel experiences might rapidly expand around the globe, or we might be looking at a Disney Quest type situation here. It really all comes down to the guest experience, to the reviews, what people think when this actually opens. So I guess we'll see. The Starcruiser voyages begin March 1st, 2022. Then we got the first mention of the Tron project at the Magic Kingdom from Disney in quite a long time.
Okay, now let's take a look a little bit further out. Here at the Walt Disney World Resort, we're still moving forward on Tron Light Cycle Run at the Magic Kingdom Park. You guys can see it and you know it. It's in an all new area of Tomorrowland right near Space Mountain. This construction shot you're seeing gives you a sense of how it's coming along from the concept that we had showed you all the way to where we are today. So pretty amazing progress by the team. Now, we know our guests in Shanghai love this attraction and we're excited to bring it to Walt Disney World Resort as well. Coming soon. Okay. Let's now head back out west.
So that's all we got there with Tron. Back out west, like Damaro was saying, we got this absolutely beautiful concept art of an update they teased for Downtown Disney out there. I love this art style. It looks so classic. It looks very mid-century. I'm a big fan of that aesthetic. So I'm very happy to see this art. Just for the art itself, as far as what they're doing with the Downtown Disney update, Disney says they're going to tell us more about it in 2022, of course. So, of course, it was another very brief teaser there. But looking at that art, it definitely piques my interest, I would say. That concluded the Imagineering related stuff as far as this event went. Then we got to look at some more technology-based projects. Disney's doing this voice assistant project with Amazon they were talking about. If you see in this presentation, Damaro is wearing a magic band where you can see the partner's statue silhouette on it. We previously got a look at this magic band as part of the media for the 50th anniversary on October 1st. The magic band lights up. It is coming to Walt Disney World. The news today is this magic band is also coming to Disneyland, which should be very cool for Disneyland fans out there. At the end of the presentation, they listed off this big list of things that they previously took away, but they've brought back or are bringing back. They were listing off live entertainment they've brought back, like the Dapper Dans. They listed churros for some reason on there. And it's so bizarre because the best news of the entire panel, in my opinion, and in the opinion of the people that were there, buried in this list where Josh Damaro was just rapid fire saying a bunch of stuff in a frame of about 10 seconds. I had to go back and listen to this. Damaro announced that Fantasmic will be returning to Disney's Hollywood Studios, which we're so lucky to be getting back. I'm so happy to hear that because I've heard from sources this past year it was really iffy whether it was ever coming back. We could have seen Fantasmic demolished. It just be totally done for good. It is indeed coming back, and that probably will mean that we are getting the show tech upgrades, new lighting and such, which it was supposed to receive last year before everything hit the fan. So very exciting news there. And then the lead they totally buried, they should have made a bigger deal out of this, and this got the biggest fan reaction of the entire event. Damaro quickly mentioned that they are bringing back the Festival of Fantasy Parade. It is coming back to the Magic Kingdom, and also there's going to be a new castle stage show, a special version of Mickey's Friendship Fair for the 50th anniversary, which is going to debut soon as well. Everyone in the room was clearly very excited to hear that these shows and parades are returning to Walt Disney World, myself included. So that was the Destination D23 Parks panel. The panel itself was really just a recap of the current projects, and as someone who does a lot of those sort of updates, updating you guys on what's going on with all Disney's construction projects, I would say it really wasn't up to the level of depth that we give you guys here as far as construction updates are concerned. And as far as the value that Disney is in the unique position to give us, announcing new stuff, new projects, things like that, scaling up Imagineering, telling us what on the earth is going on with Epcot, that stuff was really nowhere to be found in this presentation, and I think that's why a lot of fans were quite disappointed in voicing that online with what we saw in this event this morning. But as I said earlier, based on the lack of focus on the parks we've seen from Disney this past year, I personally really wasn't expecting us to hear very much. I really wanted us to get more Epcot news than what we did, like what's going on with the Play Pavilion, right? How is the Walt statue they briefly mentioned that's supposed to go in Dreamer's Point, how is that going to fit into Dreamer's Point when Dreamer's Point itself is accentuated by the new queue and load building at Spaceship Earth, when the Spaceship Earth project is on pause, as is the Play Pavilion, and the elevated structure in World Celebration is said to be canceled? These seem like things that Disney should be able to clarify for us. I'm kind of getting the sense Disney themselves do not have this all squared away. I don't know why they would keep that from us. They probably should tell us what's going on there because it's coming to life right now. We're seeing them do the construction. So I definitely expected more there. Also, what about the time frame for Tron? Coming soon? Seriously? But at least we did get the summer 2022 time frame for the Guardians of the Galaxy attraction, which was accompanied by this cool new attraction poster I've been showing on screen here for you guys. And also the Festival of Fantasy Parade is back. That's very exciting as well. If you enjoyed this recap, be sure to subscribe with those notifications on as I keep you up to date on everything going on, as based on our Epcot construction update we just posted, capital expenditure appears to finally be returning to the parks, meaning as we move into 2022 here, we should get some more exciting announcements, not to mention that there's also projects that are getting close to completion that will be opening next year. So we'll definitely have a lot to talk about. From the Mickey Mouse Magic Studio, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again very, very soon. This is Brayden. Have a magical day.